Senator Cassidy, how you doing?
Moon Griffon, I am fantastic. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. All right, Senator. What's going to happen today? I know it's not a big deal to me. I think we've had shutdowns before and we moved on. The only big deal is that the Democrats want to make sure the Republicans pay, and they know they'll have the press to run with it.
You know, the incredible thing to me is that Democrats are willing to prioritize the DACA kids, which does not have to be addressed till March 5th, a month and a half from now, and they're going to deny children health insurance coverage next week. The CHIP program, I'm told Louisiana is going to start shutting it down because we're out of money. And this deal the House sent us funds CHIP program for 6 years, and Democrats are going to prioritize illegal aliens who don't have to have their needs addressed for a month and a half over American kids who live here right now, won't have health care next week. It is the darndest thing.
You know, that is amazing. They care more about kids that aren't born here who aren't citizens here than the citizens that are here. That's what they tell me. They're putting that ahead of everything: military, economy, kids, children. But see, Bill, you're saying that, but you won't see that. You won't see that in a newspaper or the major news media. They will not talk about it.
I mean, it will be amazing if they don't. Everybody shedding crocodile tears because CHIP hasn't been reauthorized up to this point. Now we're going to reauthorize it for 6 years, and the Democrats won't do it because of an issue that a month and a half from now has to be addressed. They want it addressed today. It is just Moon. You're right. It's going to be a challenge to the mainstream media, to all the late-night folks who carry on about CHIP, as to whether or not they're going to call Democrats accountable for sacrificing the funding that's out there for 6 years for something that doesn't have to be done for a month and a half.
Okay, what's going to happen? Because I got a lot of people calling me, wanting me to fire a question on you, and not just you, John Kennedy too, on voting for a budget that's still going to fund Planned Parenthood and still fund some of the things like that. How do you answer that, Senator Cassidy? Because I get that all the time when you're not with me.
Uh-huh.
Ask him about it. I ask you those questions, but I'm going to ask you that too because we're concerned about the debt and which way we're going. So talk a little bit about this. How do you answer that?
Well, you got a set of priorities. We've done our best, and people can recognize that we've had numerous pieces of legislation, including Graham Cassidy, the bill that I put up last time to repeal Obamacare, that would have gotten rid of federal funding for Planned Parenthood. We've actually achieved some decreases in funding for Planned Parenthood. But on the other hand, if you got it all lumped together, you can either say we're not going to fund the military, we're not going to fund keeping our ports open so that people can go to work on the docks, on and on, period. So if we're going to keep those other things funded, we got to fight another day on these other issues. And believe me, I've fought, I've had legislation in particular for it. I'm a fighter on this. On the other hand, sometimes you take the good and the bad, and this is at one point. If we're going to fund the military, for example, that we got to take a little bad for the good.
What happens? Let's say today the deal doesn't get done and quote the government shutdown. Is the government really? I mean, I'm just asking. Is the government really shut down?
The essentials
really shut down. Everything shuts down. We won't have Social Security checks. Nothing. Is that because that's what they're making you think?
Yeah. Essential services stay open. You go to the airport, you're still going to be checked in by TSA agents. The FBI is still going to be busting people for crime. If you're expecting to have dollars come to your state to help build a highway, those dollars will be delayed.
Yeah. Okay. What about Social Security checks?
Yeah, I think Social Security check still goes out.
Yeah, and I know they do. So really, what really shuts down? I mean, when they say, and let's be honest, Senator Cassidy, if a shutdown does occur, and let's just say it's down 10 working days, normally the people that aren't working still get a check. They get reimbursed for the days they missed, and they enjoy the vacation.
Yep, that's
how
true.
it normally happens.
That's true, and that's what Democrats are voting for.
Well, but does anything happen today? You're in the Senate. What do you think?
So we're going to, what I'm hoping, best case scenario, is that the mainstream media does pick up, that Democrats are prioritizing illegal aliens, an important issue but doesn't have to be addressed for a month and a half, over American kids who won't have health care next week. Now, if the mainstream media picks that up, wait, Democrats are prioritizing an issue a month and a half away and we're not going to take care of the military, and we're not going to take care of kids' health insurance next week, that sort of thing. They're prioritizing these kids. That hopefully Democrats will come to their senses. If they come to their senses and we have a vote, then we'll continue our funding for the military, et cetera.
But isn't this 100% about re-election? I mean, they know if the lawmakers on the Democrat side did not feel like the liberal press was going to help them, they would never do this.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that totally.
They were going to get blamed for it every day on CNN and ABC and NBC and all these stupid liberal programs. I mean, don't you think they would go, oh, better I do this because they're not going to bail us out on this one?
They're certainly hoping that. When Schumer talked last night, he spoke out of both sides of his mouth. First, he said he'd be willing to promote a CR, a continuing resolution, for 2 days and 3 days and 4 days, kind of to keep the drama out there. And then he said, oh, my gosh, I can't believe we're voting for another continuing resolution. So Schumer's just talking out of both sides of his mouth. Bottom line, he's prioritizing an issue that doesn't have to be addressed for a month and a half over military spending tomorrow, over children's health insurance program next week, over the needs of the American citizens. If the mainstream media lets them get away with it, my gosh, Moon, they should just, even more so than they should now, they should hang their heads in shame.
Okay, let me throw this at you, Senator Cassidy, because I know you only have a few minutes. If we're shut down, you may not say this, but I'm going to say it. I don't think it's that big a deal. And if it's a big deal, how is it a big deal?
Well, it's going to be a big deal not for most folks. For absolutely most folks, you're going to be right. For the person whose trip to Yosemite is canceled because the park is closed, it's going to be a big deal. And for the law enforcement officials coming to a training course at Quantico, it's going to be a big deal. And then if there's a military family getting a check for benefits, and that's delayed, it's going to be a big deal. For most Americans, it won't be a big deal. But for the...
Yeah, I can understand if somebody directly in front of it, but they're going to make it sound like, oh, my God, the sky's falling, the world's coming to an end. And it's not. We've had shutdowns before.
I will say, I'm hearing from Louisiana, they're going to start shutting down the children's health insurance program. And as a doc who worked in the charity hospital system for a long time, there's a lot of children who benefit from that. But we'll see if the same folks who accused me of shutting down health care when I did Graham Cassidy, which didn't shut down health care, it replaced Obamacare with something better. But that way, we'll just see if they'll make the same complaints about Democrats, again, who are sacrificing this program over the issue of DACA, which doesn't have to be addressed for a month and a half.
Yeah, I agree. They're sacrificing for people who are not citizens, for people who are really citizens. That's phenomenal, but I don't think the press ever picked that up. You have. I think other people will, but I don't think anybody in the press will pick it up. Well, they can pick it up, Senator Cassidy. I just think they're going to choose not to.
Well, if everybody listening to this program right now goes out and tells everybody they work with that, and then asks them to tell somebody else and asks them to tell somebody else, maybe we get the message out. Because it just is amazing to me that Democrats are sacrificing. They say they're the ones who believe in government, the importance of government. So your point earlier, most folks won't be affected. Most folks won't be, but some people will be significantly. Well, I mean, Democrats believe in government. So, my gosh, they're sacrificing it on this issue. Again, doesn't have to be addressed till March 5th.
Yeah, so by the way, Senator, before I let you go, because I know you got plane to catch and all that, I did get some people say they've been trying to get in touch with your office, and they said they can't get in touch with you or get calls back. Now, I'm telling you what people told me, and I just want to be blunt. I don't know if that's taking place, but the guys several that have told me that are pretty good people. They're trying to get in touch to either talk to you or somebody in your office about some of the stuff that's going on. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you that they will hear back from somebody in your office?
Yeah, is it
go local? Is it do local office? Is it call Washington, D.C.?
Either, and I will tell you, I will go back to my office right now and find out what the issue. If somebody can't reach my office, we're going to figure out what the issue is and make sure that they are getting heard. They can call the Baton Rouge office, 225-929-7711. And the D.C. office, I don't have the number off the top of my head, but if you go to our website, cassidy.senate.gov, they're going to have all of our numbers there.
Okay.
And every now and then the left just bombs us. Every now and then the left lights it up and just calls us 5,000 times in a week. But if that's happening, I can't do anything about it. But if it's some other issue, we'll figure it out.
All right. Senator Bill Cassidy, we'll see what happens today.
Hey, thanks, Moon.
All right, take care. Good luck.